Hello, everyone. Mr. Stewart here. I'm just going to shoot a quick video to walk everybody through how to use our parent teacher interview booking website to book interviews with your children's teachers coming up this next week on the 13th and 14th. Um, so, basically, when you click on the link, it will take you to this bookings site, and you can see there's quite a bit here, but if you start at the top and work your way down, there's a process to it that hopefully is intuitive for you folks. At the top, you'll see you have to select a service, and the service basically is another way of describing you selecting a particular teacher and what kind of interview you'd like to have with that teacher. And so you can see, because FHS is quite large, we have a lot of staff here. Our staff is typically divided up into three different categories based on their last name. And so we can see we have a grouping of staff with last names A to F, another grouping with G to M, and then finally a grouping with N to Y. You'll also see that each grouping also has three different types of bookings that you can book with that teacher. The first booking type is in-person visits, so actually physically coming here to the school, sitting down with the teacher, and talking with them about your child's progress. The second booking, as you can see here, is an online meeting. So if you can't make it into the school, there is an option to meet online, as we've done in the past, and this is always done through a Teams meeting. So that is where you can select that option. The third option that's being offered this year is well, I guess, is a phone call option. Okay, so, and in particular with this one, only a certain number of staff have actually opted into this option. So if you are looking for that as an option for yourself, just be warned that when you select that, you may not find your child's particular teachers under that category. And the reason why is because that your teachers have not opted into that, because they would much rather just offer the in-person or online booking. But you can look into that and see if any of your children, their teachers have that option, so that you can choose that if you want. Um, so how this works is basically you go in and, let's say, for example, I want to make a booking with Mr. Stewart. For some reason, I want to meet with myself. Um, you can see obviously Stewart is S, so N to Y category. And I can see if I scroll down, all three of those options are here for that category. If I, for example, want to do an in-person meeting with my child's teacher, I can select this as the service type. After that, I can see in the next sort of part of this bookings page is a spot to actually choose the particular staff member. So I can click here and use this window to scroll and find that particular staff member. So I can find Mr. Stewart. And then when I get down to this next section, I can see the two dates that are available are either the 13th or the 14th. You can see for me, for example, the 13th, the time frame is basically 5:30 to 7:30, and what you're looking at is booking in for a 45-minute time interval. Or sorry, I was looking at the times here. A 15-minute time interval. It sounds a lot better. And within that 15 minutes, you're really looking at booking a 10-minute meeting with that particular teacher. So keeping that in mind, when you see this as saying it again, 15-minute time intervals, know that you're really only booking 15-minute or 10 minutes. Okay. So for example, if I wanted to book the 5:30 time slot, I can see that the next booking is 5:45. I'm not really booking that 15-minute time interval. I'm actually booking 10 minutes, and that's there because the teacher needs that buffer time in order to prepare for the next meeting and so on, right? So let's say, for example, I want to book this time slot, the 5:30 time slot. The next thing that we'll need to fill out as parents is going in here and filling out your name, your email address, and the student's name, right? This is super important because from a teacher's perspective, it's nice to be able to match the parent with the student. We know all of our students quite well, and sometimes parents' names don't always match up, last names and things like that, with their with their children and things like that. So it just makes it easier for us to be able to sort through who the particular student is that we're going to be chatting about and things like that. So make sure to put your full child's name here so that the teacher can see that from their end. When I'm all ready, I can click on book to book that time slot in. And we'll just wait for it to run through the process. So once it finishes running through its process, you can hear I just received a message. Those are some confirmation emails, and I'll get to showing you what that looks like in a little bit. But you can see this page here is helpful for us in a few different ways. First of all, it's just basically a confirmation to go through the details, so you can see if you accidentally chose something instead of another option, you can go in there and make those corrections. So you can see for me, for example, I've booked in for the Thursday evening from at 5:30, and I can see here from a parent's perspective, I have 10-minute interview with that particular teacher. Location, pretty obvious, FHS, right? And then I can see who I'm meeting with, right? Mr. Stewart. If any of these details need to be changed, I can go in and reschedule the booking just by going in and making some adjustments to the details. I can also cancel the booking from here as well. And then if I would like to continue and make more bookings for other appointments with other teachers, I can say new booking and go through the same process again in order to select more teachers at different times and that sort of thing. Okay. So that's the basic process. It should be pretty straightforward. Hopefully, this walkthrough helps you sort of through the process in ironing out any details that and any questions that may come up. I will show you once you receive the confirmation email. I do have a few that I had done last night. Let's bring up this one. Actually, I'll bring up both of them so that we have them in view for us. This, as a parent, is what you will get for an email. And so you can see it's confirming that your booking has been set. It goes through listing the service, so in person, so you can confirm through this email if you've selected the right thing, if you are in fact coming in person and that kind of thing. This one here, I made a booking with Mr. Lewis, and his booking I had set for the evening of the 13th. His is for 6:30 to 6:40, right? Um, I can see how I can reschedule here as well. So through this email, I can go in and do some changes if I need to, if there are some corrections that need to be made. And I can see the information that I provided as far as what questions were asked and things like that. So, child's name, for example. So that's for an in-person booking. This other email that I received, I had also gone through yesterday and made a booking with Mr. Brewer. And same process, so you can check the details for this. But this one, as you can see, is an online booking. If you do decide to do online bookings with the teachers of your child, um, you can use this website, or sorry, this email in order to click on the link, and that takes you to the actual booking, or sorry, the online meeting that you will have with that particular teacher. Okay, so when the time is right, time comes for that meeting, you can use this email to actually directly link you to the Teams meeting that will take place between you and that particular teacher. Okay. And so just keep in mind that this would only be the link for my meeting with Mr. Brewer. If I had more online meetings, I would have to go in and access those emails and navigate through that in order to open up that. The other thing that can happen for you as well is that in these emails, you can use this link here. Whoop, I'm going to close that just because it's confusing. I can click on this drop down here. This is actually a helpful link that helps you add this booking to an existing calendar that you do have. So you can see that I can actually add this to my calendar in order to create reminders for myself and that kind of thing. So those reminders should help you link to the emails, which can get you to the online bookings if that's the case. Otherwise, they act as I always like to use calendars. So if I was making bookings uh, with my child's teachers, then I would probably do that as well. So I can just have them all in my calendar. Hopefully, this helps for you folks. Again, there's lots of ways to reach out to me if you have questions or concerns about how this process works. But hopefully this helps. And again, if there's anything at all that comes up, please reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to help.